Just to get things started, just how excited are you to just get things going on Wednesday for fall camp?
Yeah, it was good to have a little break for about 3 weeks to kind of recalibrate. But then getting back up here and seeing even the transformation of the guys from early June to now, and just seeing how they're becoming more of a team, right, excites me, right? Going into year 4 for us, and getting a chance to go change the narrative of Virginia football excites me, and change the narrative of us offensively excites me. But it's all for the kids. I think we got a really good collection of young men in here, not just on offense but on defense in the program, and we're all hungry, right? We all want to have some W's more so than L's. So, yeah, we're excited. We're ready to rock and roll. So.
Coach Elliott earlier in the week called this the deepest and the most complete roster he's had during his time here. Just offensively, just how excited are you to kind of be able to work with those pieces? And
yeah, and that's what, these 25 practices of fall camp is going to be really good of evaluating, right, managing, right, leading, right, orchestrating, like all those verbs of this group, right? Because up front with those pieces, the 3 new guys that we brought in, we think we know and like what skills they have based on their film evaluation, based on seeing them run around in the weight room, but now to get them out there with someone actually across from them and blocking techniques, so that's exciting, right? Even with Harrison Whaley, added into that room, with X and Jamari and Noah Vaughn and those guys to be a really competitive group. I think just the whole deal, competition across the whole board, right? Even when we're doing, inside run and that D-line and linebackers versus our O-line and running backs, right? Competition only going to create, opportunities for us to grow as a team.
Coach, if you don't mind, Coach Elliott spoke a lot about resources and being able to kind of go out there and get that guy. You have had a seat at the table, now you really have to
Like I said, first of all, thank you to all those who played a role in that. Like, we're awfully very appreciative of being able to, make some of the additions to our program and retaining the guys that were here with us in our program. And so that's been an added benefit, right, to where we've always believed that you win from the inside out, right? And when both lines of scrimmages kind of beefed up, right, from a numbers and talent standpoint, right? The quarterback kind of still working up the middle, right? And then the backfield, right? Feel like if we're strong there, we got a chance to go win. And then, with the addition of the Jamal Adreens and the Jaden Thomases and the Cam Ross and the 2 first-year kids and Josiah Abdullah and Dylan Newton Short, who were here all spring and all summer, right? They put themselves in a position to be able to go compete, right? Because at wide receiver, as a former wide receiver, somebody's going to have a soft tissue injury in fall camp. It just happens. Well, the next guy's got to be ready to go, right? Because, even in the season, as we've seen, those things happen, and your number may get called in week 1, may get called in week 7, but we feel like, as we stand right now, that we got enough to go do it. So.
I'm just curious, what is it like also having some of those old school cats that you have, like a Davis Lane or
Yes.
like an Eli Wood?
Yes, and I'm glad you brought those guys up because those are glue guys in this program, right? And Davis Lane is probably one of the guys that made the biggest transition here in the last calendar year, right? And credit to him, he's played a multiple position, but he's kind of settled in at running back and had a lot of growth in there at running back. He's a really good special teams player for us. Eli has played a role for us at wide receiver, and he's going to continue to play a role, an expanded role at wide receiver, and he's a hell of a special teams player as well with those guys. And then, for guys like Noah Josie, who has basically sweated on this field for us, right, and bled on this field for us, surgeries all over his body, now you get a chance to, say, hey, Noah, man, instead of you having to take a gazillion reps in fall camp and your body's beat to shred, like this competitive depth helps him and it helps the other guys because he wants to win just like a lot of us, and he's a very good leader for us. So it's been a lot of pluses, over the last 6 months. So.
How important is it to be able, you spoke a little bit about it, but to kind of have that flexibility to say, you can go hard by it. There is somebody else there that can help you out.
Yeah. And exactly right. But the ultimate thing is like Coach Elliott when he talked to the team back in when we first got back in January, and then back in June when the new guy come in. The most important thing is becoming a team, right? And even the guys that have come here, right? A couple of them are coming from other P4 schools, and some are moving up, right? They got an opportunity to go compete at the P4 level in the ACC to try to put us in a position to go win a championship, right? So to do that, though, these collection of individuals got to become a team. And, we haven't experienced any adversity yet, but where we're trending, we're a team, right? And fall camp's going to present adversities, right? Somebody's going to have a bad practice. Something's going to happen. But how do we maintain that level of team and consistency through the adversity would dictate our success in the fall.
Walker Wallace is probably one of the more under the radar additions that you guys have had this offseason. Just having a lacrosse guy and seeing him as a football player, kind of just what stood out to you about him?
Because there's here in the last probably, I would say 8 to 10 years, I've grown fond of lacrosse and football and recruiting high school guys because there's some crossover, some parallels. The athleticism, there's some physicality depending on the position you play in lacrosse. And so this opportunity presented itself, and, here's a big athlete, right? He's 6'7", 240-plus pounds. So I'm excited to give him an opportunity. And he's going to have an opportunity to see how can he help this team, amongst some other guys in that tight end room. Yep. And he's a smart guy. He's a Cornell grad. He's a business guy. I got a lot of guys in my room that are business guys. So whether the conversation is Bitcoin or stock market, right, Tesla or not Tesla, it's a fun room to be in. So.